How is everybody doing? Hope you're all well. We're going to take a look at A Day at the Races by Queen. This was the band's 5th studio album, recorded in 1976 and released later that year. This is the 2015 180 gram heavyweight black vinyl. These have to be mastered by Miles Showell at Abbey Road. Track listing here on the back of the gatefold, produced by Queen, engineered by Mike Stone. Seems to be a picture of a rabbit here disappearing. Looks like a rabbit, but I've never seen that before. So it's strange. All titles composed, arranged and performed exclusively by Queen. Yeah. I really like this album. I think it nicely complements Night at the Opera, which was from the year before. Is it as strong as A Night at the Opera? It's hard to say. I just like listening to this, I know that. I have a thing for it. I remember buying it back in 1985, originally on cassette, and I'm really fond of this album. I think all the songs are great. It's different, put it that way. It hasn't got the same kind of concept or flow as A Night at the Opera, but it's still a good album. It's classic Queen. Yeah, a lot of people say that this is kind of weaker, but I don't think so. I think it's a good album. And I've read before that the band were actually thinking of releasing a double, so I think that some of these songs were written around the time of opera and stuff like that, so I think that they were going to make a double album. This would have been an interesting project. I'd say the songs would have all been arranged differently, and it's funny. Sometime I must actually try do a playlist or something to make up a fake double races opera combo and see what happens. It would have diluted both albums, I presume. This one is mastered by Bob Ludwig at Gateway. These ones were taken from the masters and digitized and then pressed to the vinyl. A lot of people have negative things to say about these. Oh, they don't sound this and sound that. I think they're quite boomy and stuff like that. You got to back the bass off. But one thing I've learned from them is that it depends on the turntable you're using, and I think that you need to crank them up loud and then back the bass off and add it as you need it. The details are there. I've heard things on jazz, for instance, that I never heard before. I think jazz actually sounds a bit dry. The master on jazz is dry, and that's it. Like it's not a great sounding Queen album by any means. And the drums are a bit dry. The bass is weak as well on jazz. But I've heard things that I haven't heard before when you listen to it with headphones and crank them up. So that's my advice. Don't listen to people on forums going, oh, they're this and that. Inner sleeve. Circle here for the cutout. With all these remasters or represses, you just get a paper sleeve with a poly line on the inside, and you get the sleeve there as well. You can take it out of the poly, putting it in, but this probably protects the record much better. So original had a label on one side, on side 2, and there's the track listing on side 1. As most fans will know, the album kicks off with a gong crash, and then Brian May's orchestrated guitars, and then there's another big crash, and then it goes into this type of harmonium which kind of has a hypnotic effect of constantly travelling up and travelling up and travelling up and always repeating itself, which is really cool and quite haunting. And then it kicks into Tie Your Mother Down. This is May's Boogie. Yeah, it's bombastic. Lyrics are kind of funny, tongue-in-cheek. Great rocker. Then you have The Beautiful and Delicate, You Take My Breath Away. This is a Mercury track, and there's some beautiful piano on that, and some really nice guitars that sound like violins. It's like something from the 20s or something like that. It's Valentino, the Hopeless Romantic. Then you've got Long Away. That always reminded me of something like either the Birds. Reminds me of that kind of stuff. Reminds me of the Eagles as well. It's another May track. Then the Millionaire Waltz. That's insane. Absolutely brilliant. It's pure theatre. Carries on again, I suppose, from the vein of Bohemian Rhapsody on the previous album. It's like Gilbert and Sullivan. Yeah, it's crazy. Great guitar solo as well. Some great dynamics in that track. You and I. That's by John Deacon. I really like that track. That always stuck out for me. It's a strong Deacon track as well. I like Freddie's vocal on it. Yeah, could have been on News of the World as well, you know. He's got a very raw vocal on that, which he had on News of the World. Then you've Side 2 kicking off with Somebody to Love. It's another Mercury track. Fantastic track. Totally unique and amazing. Some great vocals on it. Then we have White Man. That's a Brian May song about the American Indians. Very heavy, very, very heavy track. It's kind of a political song, I suppose. Looking back at Native American Indians. It's a little bit kind of coy or twee or something like that. I don't know. There's something. Yeah, it sounds a little bit forced or something. Yeah. So I always, when that kind of comes on, I always kind of go, oh yeah, White Man. You know, I kind of have to kind of endure it a bit. And there's some amazing heavy guitar in it. Like, yeah, some of his best guitar. Then we've got Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy. It's a Mercury track. That's an incredible little 1920s style love song. Amazing. Then Drowse by Roger Taylor. It's the only Taylor track on the album, and it's a good one. It's fantastic. I love the lyrics. I love the music. Yeah, it's very, very good. And then finally you've got Tio Toriate, Let Us Cling Together. That's a song by May, and it's a nice ballad with Japanese singing in the chorus by some school choir, I'd say. So yeah, it's an entertaining album. Like I said, I really like it. 10 tracks and they're all great. Well, White Man is a little bit, yeah, kind of chugs and drags a bit. So that was A Day at the Races by Queen. You would think that this album was produced by Roy Thomas Baker. You know, it still has that Baker touch, even though he didn't work on it at all. Yeah, he came back again for Jazz in 1978. But Mike Stone was the studio engineer. Fantastic. But Races, yeah, I really like it. It's a great album. And well worth getting if you're starting to collect Queen. I think that, you know, most of the 70s stuff is essential anyway. So these are the ones you kind of need to dip into before going to the 80s, really. This is where the magic is. The actual cover print here looks a little bit kind of, you know, it's not as sharp as I thought it might be. Yeah. Anyway, that's only a minor quibble. And that's all I have to say about this. So, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and take care.